I'm Bad with Rose. I am a variety streamer. I stream content on Kick 3 days a week, usually, maybe four. And I started streaming probably about 3, 4 years ago on Twitch and just didn't have a great experience there, didn't feel like I belonged. And somebody told me about Kick in June, and I switched over and I rebranded myself. And I feel like I could be more genuine and be myself there, and I can be my cozy streamer self.
What's up, everybody? My name is Squidhead Joe. I'm a U.S. Army veteran, hip-hop dancer, and a content creator, and I'm part of Respawn Recruits Top 50.
Well, my name is Colpios. You can call me Colp or Colpy, or I've heard Colupios, whatever fits your bill. It's completely up to you. I was raised in the womb of like anime and sci-fi and just pop culture. So doing content creation, it's kind of my way of saying, hey, little me, look what we're doing now. Like you wanted to be one of those guys, and now you are. So I've had the amazing opportunity to work with actual like movie production companies, as far as like, oh my gosh, my mind's blanking. I'm sorry. As far as like sci-fi and special effects makeup, we've gotten the chance to work with companies who are producing the first Omnideck for the gaming world in the United States of America, which is surreal. It's used for military training in Europe, and now it's being brought to America for us to use during video gaming. And so yeah, we're just funky. We are a ball of just complete spontaneity, and we just like to have fun. I'm always snacking, always cozy. What more could I say?
I am Aaron, aka Better Actions. I am a less of a streamer, more of just a content creator. I co-host a podcast called the Oblivion Bar Podcast with my best friend, who I served in the army with. Well, I'm still in the army, and he was one of my soldiers actually, back in 2010. And so we've been friends for over 13 years. And about 3 years ago, we started a nerd culture podcast that has blossomed into everything it is right now. I still create content like as much as I can, just mostly out of passion, out of love, inspiration. I'm really digging doing some art stuff right now. So a couple of Respawn recruits like Rabbit and Untamed Cupcake and the Elder Gamesmen, who are, like I said, Respawn recruits, are doing Inktober with me, and it's been really fun, really challenging. But yeah, that's kind of my brand. I do a lot of stuff basically to try and support other people. Like I also run a nonprofit that helps veteran service members and their families called Shred the Stress. So if anybody's interested in supporting that, they can follow me over pretty much on all social media at Shred the Stress. And yeah, that's kind of who Better Actions is in a snapshot.
Well, hi, I'm Redhead Vixen. People call me Red, Vixen, or Tay, which is short for my name. I am mainly a Valorant streamer. I play DVD maybe once a week. But yeah, most people know me for Valorant. A lot of people used to know me for Call of Duty back when 2019 was huge. Until my old PC couldn't handle it anymore, so I had to try something new, which was Valorant, and then I fell in love with that. And it's been my game ever since. But I'm really chaotic. I have RCD, which is reading comprehension disorder. So usually when I look at my chat, I'll stare at it for a good minute or two, trying to read it over and over and over again until my brain can comprehend what I just read. And I talk really fast, and I have 3 cats and a dog, so I'm a pet lover, and yeah.
It was crazy because I was at work and our water got cut off. So I hadn't been watching anything and I didn't get to see it right away. I missed like the first 4, I think. Might have been the first 5 because I think I was in group 6. And like So I got in my car and like I had 3 hours off, and I was like, oh cool, okay, I can at least look at this, and like if I'm upset, like I can be upset and figure my life out. And then I opened it and I saw that, I was like, oh, what the fuck. Like, of course it's something like this, but I had the time, and so like I started to like drive off, and then he announced mine. I was like so excited.
It's unique because every Tuesday is usually my son's feeding specialist day. I'm about to end the stream. I'm like, okay, I could do reaction to this. And they're like, we're gonna do something different. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then I looked at the time and I was like, oh shoot, I gotta go because my son's over here hollering. So I'm in the room with him hollering, trying to calm him down and everything, change his diaper, and I'm refreshing my phone, like trying to figure out what's going on. And they're like, oh, we're gonna, do it in 5 group increments. And I'm like, really? You gotta do this to me now? So I'm sitting here feeding him, trying to burp him, and I'm like, oh, did I make it? Did I make it? So I was panicking, bro. I was panicking. And it got to like literally, because I was a part of group 6. So when I saw you make it, my brother make it, I was like, okay, uh, I saw some people that didn't make it or wherever, and I felt a little bit bad for them because I might not always be in people's streams and commenting like on their content and stuff like that, but I do see people out there, and certain people I was like, man, that kind of sucks or whatever, but I know they're not going to give up. You know what I mean? So it got to group 5, and I was just like, man, this is bad. And I think that's the time where my son had finally went to sleep, and I went to go wash his bottle and everything. And I was like, well, if I didn't make it or wherever, it is what it is. I'm just gonna keep, like I said, every single time they have pushed me through, I'm humbled by it, but it doesn't stop. And then I finished like sanitizing this bottle and stuff, walked back into the room. I opened my phone and I'm seeing like so much notifications, and I'm like, nah, I didn't make it, bro. What are you talking about? And I clicked on Twitter or wherever, opened it up, and it's like everybody's like, hey, Squid made it, retweets and all this stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, dude. I was just like, thank you. I was so relieved, man, because like that I know a lot of people didn't like it, and I know it messed with our heartstrings, but I think that's probably the best way they've ever done like an announcement as far as like who made it.
I love seeing a number that I can depend on. But when we start going through all of the numbers and all of the groups, my stomach was churning. I was really, really nervous, and I'm sitting here trying to do my work and like focus on my monitor and not look over at Twitter. I like turned my phone off. I was like, don't even think about it. And then it happened, and I was like, bet.
I think that I try and approach so for me, it comes out Tuesday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. This week will be a little bit different because I'll be in New York, so it'll be like noon, for me at that time. But like I look at my phone and I'm like, okay, we're approaching list drop time, and I just tell myself, I'm like, you know what, just put your phone down. It's going to happen, or it's either you're gonna get cut or you're not gonna get cut. It's like you have no control. The only way that I can honestly be upset at myself is if I didn't do my very best. That's the only way I can, and I can't be mad at anybody else. I can only be mad at myself if I don't make the cut, because and even if I don't make the cut, I can't be mad at myself because I know that I put everything into it. I am exhausted. I am mentally, physically, emotionally exhausted, and this week has been one of the hardest out of any Respawn Recruits challenge that I've been at. And I do feel like I could do more, or I could have done more, but I'm also like still. I actually, this is a lesson learned that I pull from this challenge, is that I need to step back and look at everything that I have done and be proud of it.
I sat there and I was like, okay. I'm gonna go back to playing Valorant to distract myself from the fact that we're gonna have to wait. And I thought I was gonna have to wait way longer than that, but I was announced in the first batch, so I was like, "Ooh, okay, perfect." And then like I was just like really nervous for a lot of like the people I was like friends with and supporting. So I was like, I'm just gonna go back to Valorant for a little bit, and between each game I'm gonna check and see who made it. And I saw a lot of people showing up, and I was like, yay, I'm so happy. And then I saw some people that didn't, and I was really, really sad. And yeah, but it was very distracting using a game during those times to like Yeah, because if I wasn't, that was the first day I decided to start live streaming because I don't like to do it during the day.
Mhm.
But I was like, my kid takes naps around that time, so it's okay. I'll stream for a couple hours or whatever. Um, so that was like the first day I decided to do it, and I was like, out of this is this day,
Right.
first time I do it to do that. That's crazy.
It's helping me, like, again, get out of my comfort zone. I don't get to, like, collab with a lot of people just because my own schedule. We're, like, brainstorming all day, every day and talking about stuff. And, like, it's just really neat to see how other people's brains work as content creators. It's going to be scary if he starts cutting groups. Like, all of a sudden.
As soon as they did that and they announced it, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to work with people on this. And it's people I've had interactions with on Twitter, but we've never personally like collabed or anything like that. And I was really, really concerned about that. I think it was a unique idea for how they listed out the groups and then be like, oh, by the way, you work with these people now. I think that was very clever and really well done.
We have to collaborate with people we may have never talked to, who have completely different styles than we do. And I think that's super important when you're learning to become or be a content creator, because collaboration and networking is so important, and being able to hone in on your skills during that time frame. It's like life or death pretty much for a content creator, because if you don't know how to reach out to people who may not be on your same level or are scared to reach out to you, you're done. So I am so torn on your question. It's bothering me because I don't want anybody to be cut, and I don't know what's in their little minds with this one. But it would make sense if they did group cuts. Let me just say that. Yeah.
Tough to see, like, and I wish that there was a few moments where I was like, I wish I could trade places with, to bring people back in, but at the same time, like, how would I choose, like, who would need to come back in? And then that led to the thought of how difficult this decision is for Tyler, and and I did have an opportunity, and I'm not going to name names, but I did have an opportunity to speak to a partner who was actually kind enough to reach out to me, who saw that I was kind of having a little bit of a tough time. They reached out to me, and they did explain that they are a family and they're supporting Tyler. Not necessarily with making the decisions, but they are supporting him because you know imagine if he had to do this by himself.
No, thank
Yeah, again, it's just he deserves, win or lose. Tyler deserves our fucking admiration. Round of applause, man.
So of course I was excited, but how I am is like I would rather see my friends succeed and do well than myself. And so like I was definitely a lot more sad to not see them. Like I understand it's a competition, we're all going for the same thing, but I was really really sad about it. Like I'll go, oh my god, I made it. I'd be like, oh, this person didn't make it. No, like, and I would freak out for a good 10 minutes. But my glory lasted like 5 seconds. I was like, okay, but I was just really sad for my friends. I reached out to them. I was like, hey, like I'm really really sorry. Like, if there's a way that we're able to, vouch for you to get back in any way, because I know that they were doing that. Obviously, I'm gonna give you all the vouchers that I can.
I was shocked that he put us in groups and had us collab together, which was like a really cool idea. But then to like if we do the challenge and then you do cut like a whole group, how is that fair? But then I guess also, how is it fair if you just pick one out of a group? I feel like we're definitely going to see what people are made out of with this cut down to 25. And I hope that we don't see like bad true colors coming through. But like, it breaks my heart, honestly. Like I said, I was like, why am I here? It's like, I guess it's that imposter syndrome definitely came in when I saw that there were some names that like I really thought they'd be here with us, and like not to knock what I do myself, but like I just was surprised that they weren't there with me, and it definitely killed me. But I know that those cuts had to happen, and I'm busting my ass in my own way, but I definitely saw some people get cut that bust their ass way more than I do.
I felt a little bit bad for them because, I might not always be in people's streams and commenting like on their content and stuff like that, but I do see people out there. And certain people I was like, man, that kind of sucks or whatever, but I know they're not going to give up. You know what I mean? Respawn recruits. It's not a competition. Coming together as content creators, you have a big company like Respawn who's done like esports events, all this stuff where like they are a big company and they're taking time out their day to sit there and recognize us as smaller, what people would consider smaller content creators because of numbers, but numbers doesn't mean that you're a great content creator. So when people get cut, that doesn't mean that they're out of the competition. That doesn't mean that Respawn no longer supports them or anybody within the competition should stop supporting people, nor should you stop your grind, like even though you're not in the competition anymore. We're all still Respawn recruits. We're all still a part of a family and of a group of content creators who are building each other up. And on top of that, we're helping each other grow and experience new things that we otherwise wouldn't have if it wasn't for Respawn putting together Respawn recruits.
Heartbreaking to say the least. I don't think there's any ice picking around it. And me being the person who I love making friends, I love learning about people and seeing what they're about, and then just saying, "Psych, they're gone." That's sad for me. But it's also it's been nice seeing the support that I'm continuing to get, and that I am able to continue to give them. That's the best part of it all.
I would like to think that it has to do with the fact that I'm just someone who wants to help others succeed, and I'm not saying that none of them have that role, but I think that it's important, maybe like that every organization needs somebody that is hell bent on making sure that everybody is taking care of themselves and being and has somebody to go to, and maybe like almost like an internal partnership manager, like, hey, like you need to like talk to somebody, or you need to like do this, or I mean, again, there's a lot of stuff. I don't consider myself to be a super talented content creator, but I enjoy what I make. But I do have I can write, I can do photography, I can do a podcast, I can interview, like I have a lot of media experience. And again, I'm just a positive person who loves to make people feel better, and maybe that's it. I can only trust in what
We have a short amount of time. There's people who, and I was saying this a lot during it, and I did say this during a couple of during my stream and during their streams. I was like, well, people have lives, and it's going to be really, really hard to all collab together. And I know people are thinking the more collabs, the better. But I truly believe in quality over quantity. So I was like, let's do the best that we can. I understand a lot of you have jobs and other obligations. I have a lot of obligations. That week, my org wanted to do a movie night and game night together. I had my 1v1s for Valorant. What else did I have going on? Oh, I had planned to do DVD with a friend. I was doing my own recordings. I was teaching myself how to do some editing on DaVinci. I don't even know how I was able to do that, but I figured it out. And so it was a lot. And I was also gathering a bunch of people for a group video for my own content. So it was, that was like my busiest week. And so like all I thought about was, I'm gonna collab with this group. I'm gonna get to know this group. We're gonna get it done, of course, but I am not worried about doing as many collabs as we can, because at the end of the day, they're looking at us individually as people, not as a whole group. They're not taking us as a whole group. And now when I saw who I was collaborating with, Joseph, I collaborated with him the week before that when I made Valorant customs. When they asked us to do that, collab with somebody you haven't collaborated with before in the competition.
Mhm.
So I was like, all right, perfect. I love Joseph. He's great. He's really nice. He's really supportive. Um, and then the rest of them I hadn't met yet. And then when I finally met them, I was like, wow, these are really great people. I really hope they continue to, grow and make it through this competition. And we worked really, really well together. We instantly got in a chat. Like it worked really well. It was really, really smooth. But yeah, that was my first instinct was like, we got a short amount of time. We can only do so much. So it's really just seeing the same thing you get from me. I'm very like genuine, very honest. Like
Mhm.
you see what you see is what you get, and I'm not gonna stop. Like this is all that I have. This is all I really work for. This is all I care about. I've done more for my streaming and my content than I ever did with an IRL 9 to 5 job. Um, so like I'm just doing the best that I can, and I'm really pushing hard.
I want to teach myself how to edit videos and longer form videos and actually do stuff like this, like what you're doing, like cozy streaming. And I think that like my connection with my community and how I want to build it, I think is super unique.
A unique perspective from somebody who has, mental issues and stuff like that, who actually is a content creator, who can sit down and, so obviously the hip hop dashing section and stuff like that. And like I said, product reviews. So like there's 3 different aspects that I could sit there and record videos on, talk about and everything like that. And even like I said, dancing in the stream and everything, posting on social media, the dances. Um, so again, having different categories and stuff like that, being a multifaceted actual variety type of content creator is, I think, my biggest thing that I would bring to Respawn as far as if I was to get partnered with them. I mean, I'm pretty much gonna still do, like I said, the product reviews and stuff like that. I got one in the works right now. You might see an announcement on the sponsorship, but other than that, I'm still gonna be doing my dancing streams. I'm on Kick. I'm still gonna be, streaming video games on Kick. Obviously, the new Call of Duty comes out pretty soon. I'm gonna be streaming that and everything.
I hope to collab a lot more. I didn't do that at the beginning of the competition, just because I was still kind of feeling everything out. I was making friends, and thinking that I needed to just take care of myself. But obviously, we have seen that that's not the case. There needs to be collaboration. So I wouldn't say as much of different content moving forward, but I want to start creating that space for people, and just have fun with it. This competition only lasts for a couple more weeks. So what are we going to do afterwards? Even if I do get cut on Tuesday, like, where I don't get cut, what am I going to keep doing? I am a legitimate jack of all trades. We've played competitive FPS. We've played horror games, puzzle games, co-op. We love Stardew Valley, Harvest Moon, and I do cosplay on the side. I unfortunately haven't learned to make it into actual content. But I would say the ability to be the chameleon in the group. I can stretch myself as far and as wide as I need to. But the great thing about that group is everyone has an established identity. So I guess if I were to go into the partnership, I would hope I could establish my identity as the girl who can be a chameleon. Yeah, do it. I'll be the chameleon. Yeah.
To be honest, this next week is the one that's going to make me a little bit nervous because, like I said, I'm going to be at New York Comic Con, but I'm still going to take pictures. I'm still going to be working, on what I can do. I'm taking my computer with me because I'm not going to be working in the con the entire time. So I'll still be trying to stream at least for a little bit, maybe in the mornings or in the evening when I get done with work. But I don't know. Like, I think that I think that I'm going to continue. I'm going to continue doing what I have been doing, and that's just creating fun content. I have a couple of one-wheel videos that I've been trying to get time to go do. I went and bought some new stuff for some new costumes. I got, I want to build an Oogie Boogie costume for this Halloween. I want to do, like I said, I'll show you this right now. Like working on Master Chief. I got a lot, and it's a little bit tough because I'm also in the middle of like I'm preparing for a move. In 3 months, I'm moving to New York, so I'm doing all of this. So I'll tell you this: since the beginning of Respawn Recruits, I've been to California for my grandma's funeral. I've worked on multiple events for work, for my full-time job because I'm still an active duty soldier. I've done multiple conventions, multiple cosplays. Like I do tend to put myself out there and spread myself a little bit too thin, but I always emphasize recovery and kind of taking time to get myself back from it. So I'm gonna do what I can do to continue to be positive and make people smile and have fun doing it. At the same time, if it causes me to be cut from the competition, that's okay. I'm gonna take care of me because I do have a family to take care of. I do have animals to take care of. I have a job to do, and as much as I love making content and all this stuff, I just don't have the freedom to do it full time and without any consequence. And that's okay. I'm not mad at anybody. That's just that's the hand, how the hand was dealt. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep making fun content. So I guess people can be on the lookout for that.
I know I play Valorant, and Valorant is a very selfish community and everything, and it's very toxic, of course, you've seen that. But I would like to say that I'm different. I've been this way since I started really committing to Valorant and streaming Valorant. I used to do it when I hosted my tournaments. I do not condone toxicity. I am very about positivity and community. And that video I put out, I think it was yesterday, shows that I am all about my community and all about support. And I think I can bring that to Respawn, is just having a lot of people there, supporting each other genuinely and honestly. And that is the type of niche that I like to give, and just being positive.
This is Lorraine, Care Bear, Shmoogly. Shmoogly I've known for a long time. Shmoogly was in that first group chat with him, and oh man, I remember hosting him out the first time and interacting with him for the first time on his stream, and just I was just so blown away by it. And man, I've gotten to know him a lot. I would love to see you and Mr. Frost as well.
First answer, I'm just gonna get out the easy one or wherever. My brother, although he platinum, as far as people would know, I guess that would be an easier way of putting it. Although he on the stream wherever he does cuss a little bit, I would say a little bit too much, but I think that's from a military standpoint. Personally being in there or wherever, I can kind of get where he comes from. But his work ethic, him being like a high-ranking non-commissioned officer in the Air Force, and being able to still do content creation, long streams, do his TikToks and stuff. I mentioned it earlier about what his TikToks and stuff is about and everything. 100% easy. And it's not because he's my brother. It's not because I'm trying to amp him up or whatever because he is or anything like that. Frost knows, I'm a person who's going to tell people straight up how it is or wherever. If my brother wasn't up to snuff, yeah, if my brother wasn't up to snuff, I would tell. I wouldn't. He would not be in this. I'm saying the top 5 as question as you're asking. But yeah, him, for sure. I would pick you. I think just because of what you offer, like I said, as far as connections and stuff goes, I already know. There's people that I have talked to before that know you or wherever, and I'm like, I didn't even know they knew you. Wolf, great content, kept their like I said, nose to the ground, not negative, anything like that, and kind of just embody what we are as far as content creators, the positive aspects of it. You know what I mean? And I think she is one of those people. NorCal Rising person is Kelly. She is a great content creator. I've been in her streams or wherever. I don't think I've ever really talked to her personally or been like talking in the streams and stuff like that. But as far as having a community, building it up, building her brand, working with, I think if I remember correctly, it was Still Series just dropped a mic and mixer and stuff like that. She was able to get a review for it, stuff like that. Like just W after W after W after W. And somebody who's constantly like pushing and constantly doing great content. Last one I'm gonna say is Y2Kate. It's got to be her. It's got to be her.
Someone who really stands out to me in the competition has to be Sith, hands down. The graphics, the way he speaks, the way he advertises things, it just eludes partnership. I was very shocked to learn that he isn't famous. He isn't like a large, like freaking, I don't know, Shroud level streamer. Two Player Slayer, I love them to death. And same goes for Rabbit. They, just watching them on my feed, I definitely hope to see them succeed more than they already are. I think Rabbit is so kick-ass and so, and not intuitive, what's the word? Innovative. I think she could go so far with her gizmos and gadgets because you don't see that on platforms at all. And that takes hard dedication and hard work, 100%. And then with Two Player Slayer, I don't know if anyone's had any like thorough interaction with them, but they are so down to earth and so sweet. And if you were to tell me, oh, hey, they're partnered with so and so, I'd be like, I believe it. I also have to give my girl Zelda a freaking shout out, and that's not just because we've become close. It's the aesthetics, it's the way she presents herself. She reminds me a lot of Summer. I think Summer holds a confidence in her that you can see it from her pictures. And I freaking love that. Like, I want to be you when I grow up. I'm giving myself the top 5. Sorry about you. So yeah, we'll stick me in top 5 for now.
It's hard, but it's also not hard because like I think like you and Frosty, I would say are very much top contenders in my brain. You guys are fucking killing it. You guys are absolutely killing it. Redhead Vixen comes to mind. Oh man. Kinetic. You know, she's killing it. I'm in awe of her. Honestly, like I you know, Untamed Cupcake, who was cut this last week. I was very much shocked that she did not make it. I was very shocked that she didn't make it. Like she was a like given for me because of her dedication, and I you know I consider myself good friends with her. I'm good friends with the Mercy. Man, Elder Gamesman, he is phenomenal. I know I'm giving way too many names. But it's so hard because everybody is so fucking talented.
Yep.
I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you like this. I'll say myself, Elder Gamesman, you, Frosty, and Redhead Vixen.
And I don't know if you've noticed in a lot of the vouchers, I don't say people's names because I don't like to make other people feel like they're excluded. Because that's who I am. I don't like to exclude people from anything. So I never gave out public vouchers to anybody. I did mine very privately. But for this, I will tell you one person I really think deserves it, and I think it's Joseph Dobrosov. I think he has worked very, very hard. I think he's got a very different personality from a lot of people, and I absolutely love and adore him. He doesn't just, work and grind for himself, but he does it for other people. He's very supportive, and I think he truly cares about this brand. My whole voucher's for Joseph Dobrosov. Seriously.